Hey everybody, Robert with RC Archery, and you saw right. Tuesday's tip of the weeks are officially back. So you're going to have at least one video now that you can watch every week from my channel, and I'm going to have as much time as I can. I'm going to load at least one more a week. That way you got some content to look at, maybe some product reviews, different series that I'm going to run as far as coming back from a layoff, or just things like that that'll work on a multi-video part series that we can do, plus my normal tips that I'm going to do every single week. To start this off, I actually have a really good video that we're going to do today. So this has been an exciting one that a lot of people have talked about. This is going to be looking at bare shaft tuning and whether that's the best method to use for a final tune, or if there's an additional method that you can use that'll help you get better groupings on target. Now, this is a very controversial subject. I know everybody has their own standpoints behind it, but what I have found is when I ask people that say bare shaft tuning is the best way to go, have you done the work, have you done the research on multiple days, multiple sessions, and seeing by measuring group sizes and really tracking the data if in fact bare shaft tuning is the best method, or if group tuning is the best method. And no one has done that, and if they have, they can't produce their findings to me. So I have done this multiple times now. I've done it twice in the past. This is going to mark my third time doing it. I've tracked the grouping size, I've tracked my scores, I've tracked everything because I wanted to know which was best. I was impartial to whatever method came out as long as it was best. So that's what I'm looking for. The benefit of this third time and what I'm doing right now is that this is going to be the first time that I've never been in top shooting shape when I've done the test. So tuning is not to have the arrow hit behind your pin when you do everything right. Tuning is to have the arrow hit as close to center when you mess up. So that's the big thing. And right now, because I've had a month layoff where I haven't shot my bow at all, this is going to be a good time for me to be able to do this test again and really see, does my human error come in and change the results that I've seen in the past. Now, I'm not going to give away any of the information on what I've done in the past that works best for me, because it may change, but also because I want to do this as subjectively as possible and not really lean one way or the other, because maybe I was wrong in the past. Maybe what I was doing when I was in top shooting shape is going to be different from what I'm doing now, where I'm coming back from a layoff and things are a little shakier. So with that being said, I'm going to set up my bow with two different setups: standard setup, what I'm doing right now, and then an additional setup. So I'm going to use my edge swap. I've got two arrow rest actual bases that I can put on it, and that way I can have one dedicated to bare shaft tuning and one dedicated to group tuning, and then I'll adjust my sight from there, and I'll just make what I need as adjustments to be able to go on the target. Now I'm going to do this over multiple days, multiple sessions. There's going to be wind involved with it. There's going to be days when there's not wind, like right now. I'm fortunate enough to be out here and there's zero wind, so that's going to be great. But there's some forecasted days coming up where it's going to be 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, 20 mile an hour wind, stuff like that. So that's probably going to really change, what I'm seeing downrange on target. But at the same time, I want to see, again, which method's going to help me hit closest to the center as much as possible.
Drop it. I want to take a quick moment here and thank my channel sponsors. And just a reminder, support those that support this channel. They're the ones that are making this happen and allowing me to be able to make these videos. First up here is Archery Squad. They're a great company, highly involved in the youth side of archery. Make sure you use my discount code RobertRankin20OFF for 20% off any purchase you make. Here's Twisted X Bowstrings, great quality string company. This is my personal bowstring company that I've used for the past 2 years. Owner operated. Shane builds all the strings himself. Last up here is Scratch Labs. They're a great company. They use all organic and all natural products for all their hydration and performance to fuel your body.
Alright, the results are in, and there is a definite winner on here. Now, I want to start out by just saying that the bare shaft tuning versus group tuning is a very controversial subject. And you're going to find professional archers and high-level amateur archers both that have their way of tuning, and that's what they live and die by. And we all have our reasonings behind which one we choose. Me personally, I'm impartial to which method I'm going to use and what I'm going to do on my bow, as long as I get my best results out of it. The goal behind tuning for me is to make my equipment the most forgivable it's going to be for my mistakes, and to get the best downrange accuracy out of it as possible. Once I've got that out of my bow, then all I have to do is worry about me and focusing on my shot and my aiming and my execution and everything that's going on. And focusing here on yourself and what you're doing is going to find you way more points than any kind of tuning that you can possibly do. Now, with that being said, I do have some numbers here. If you're interested in the total breakdown, I may post it below in the description, so check that out. But if I don't, email me or send me a message on here on YouTube, something, let me know, and I will give you a full breakdown of all these. What I did was measure each group for the width and the height, and I wrote that down. I did that for my bare shaft tuning, and I did that for my group tuning. On the past, when I've done this, I've gotten a bigger variance in my height than what I did this time. But I really think that boils down to me being out of shape, or shooting shape rather. I found myself towards the end of the day and towards the end of my rounds dropping my bow arm occasionally, and I think that's why you're going to see the difference on here not being as large. With bare shaft tuning for me on my bows, what I find is I get high misses, random high misses with my bare shaft tuning when it's perfect versus my group tuning. But when I'm dropping my bow arm, I'm going to get a bigger spread vertically on both. So that's where I think I'm coming up with that. But with that being said, for my total width, my group tuning was 18.5 inches less on my total than my bare shaft tuning. So that means 18.5 inches less wide overall is total on all the numbers. Averaged out, it doesn't really look like it's that big of a deal. It's 1.25 inches difference average per group. So that's per group size. When you look at a 10 ring on a 80 centimeter target, you're looking at a little bit over 3 inches in diameter. So 1.25 inch being about half of what you see on target. Theoretically, you could still hang a 10. If you're missing outside of it, it's not going to be a whole lot. But when we look at total numbers, we're looking at a full round. That 18.5 inches difference is where I see the biggest spread. That's where I see it in my scores. That's where I see it in my groupings, where my shot breaks in the middle and it doesn't hit there, and I'm wondering what happened. My grip may have been a little bit off, facial pressure, something, but it allowed that arrow to be directed because of it being in that bare shaft tuning coming out straight. There's no correction on there at all. There's no planned direction for it. Because of there not being a planned direction, it allows my arrows to send that arrow everywhere. When I group tune, that arrow has a planned direction coming out of the bow. Granted, it's not a lot, the arrow's not coming out sideways, but a little bit of direction coming out to begin with. It fights my arrows to keep it from going left and right as far of a spread, and you can see that by the numbers here. On the height difference, I'm looking at my group tuning being 8 inches in total less than what my bare shaft tuning was. So in height, it's 8 inches better to group tune versus bare shaft tuning. Again, in the past that number's been higher, but that's what I came out with here. On average per end, it's only 17/30 seconds. A little bit less than half an inch, very nominal, not a big deal at all. So overall spread, that's where I'm seeing, like I said, when I bare shaft tune, I get some shots that break in the middle that go randomly high. It may hit an 8, it may hit a 9, but they just pop up there. I don't get that when I group tune. If anything, if my group tune is a little bit off, I start seeing low misses and I can correct for that, but I don't see the high pops and the random high misses usually. Overall, not that big of a deal, not that big of a spread. Again, I have all these numbers here if you'd like to see them, my scores per round, my total averages total for all of this. I want to say thank you for watching this video. Next week, I'm going to have all about bare shaft tuning and group tuning, as the differences between the two, what I do personally, and what to look for no matter which way you're going to tune, as to guidance on what you need to adjust. Again, thank you for watching this video. Tuesday tip of the weeks are back, so check back in next Tuesday. I'm going to have another video coming out this week on some question and answers that I'm going to put out from my Instagram channel. I'll see you next time.